Another jelly printing session with new stencil and a new mask, a very large mask. So in addition to the stencils and the mask, I'm going to use these texture plates that I get from Michaels. I really like them. As you can see, I use them a lot, so they have paint built up on them. Sometimes the paint lifts up and then I can get them clean. I could probably soak them. I also have this one with little dots that I can twist sometimes on the plate. So we're going to start with Payne's Gray, which is a dark color, and I don't usually start with a dark color, so I don't know what I was thinking, but we're going to see where this takes us. We're definitely going to work in layers, but probably not sure, but I might be doing 2 different kinds of layers, but I'll explain as we go along. So a lot of times I like to have these sessions before I offer these for sale to see if I really like them enough, if I think that you guys will like them. This one looks really interesting, but it might be too big. I might have to reduce it down a little bit. Anyway, I wanted you to see that I am taped off on the side as a registration. So that little opening that's on the far right, that might need to be widened or something. I'll see how things go. Anyway, I'm going to pick this up with a separate piece of paper just to keep that ghost. But I like how it left this outline. I don't know why it left, that doesn't always happen, so I don't know what happened here, but I like it. We're going to work with it. And so that is, I think, manganese blue, and then a Hansa yellow with some Pyrrole orange, and I think that's quinacridone red. I have both red and magenta, and I sometimes get them mixed up. And I do like to mix it with yellow. It makes a really beautiful color. And in this case, more of an ombre. And this is a rice paper that I'm using today. Okay, so this colors also went over the Payne's Gray. So I'm going to see what I'm going to do next. I think I'm going to go back to my Payne's Gray. I just wanted to clean that up a little bit. Now I'm going to stamp into the background. I love that texture. So the reason why my paper is taped down is so that I come down over in exactly the same spot. And for some reason it still didn't, because, you know, remember my mask was down twice and my mask was slightly off on the second one. So my paper was registered, but not my mask. But I still like the way that came out. So now we're going to go with my stencils. And this is some deli paper. I'm just picking up inside the openings. I somehow got orange on my hands and it went everywhere. Okay, so now I'm going to go over this with the orange and the yellow again. I will link all the colors below. So I'm just doing that side and I'm putting in some texture again. Then on the other side, I'm pretty sure that's the magenta, and I'm going to mix it with a little bit of Titan Buff just to lighten it up slightly. And now I'm going to lay my mask down and pull some of the paint up. So now I'm trying to figure out, what do I want to pull this with? You know, what color do I want? Because especially where, oh, by the way, the waving of my hand was me saying that you should wait for it to dry. Anyway, I think this is black. Does not look like it's the Payne's gray. Anyway, I decided to use some of my stamps. It's another one that I got from Amazon with some squares. Those wood blocks were not meant for this purpose, and the paint does build up on them, but I still use them and like them anyway. I like anything that has texture that is going to add to my prints. Whether it's something laying around the house, a piece of trash, or a block that was meant for something else. So actually that was Payne's gray, and it was definitely too dark, which is kind of sad because I really liked what was going on in that magenta side. And so I'm a little bit disappointed that I made that decision. But you know, you sometimes never know until you try. I don't recommend that you pick up with a dark color. A final layer always looks best when you pick up with a lighter color. I just wanted to give it a try. But you can see it made the entire piece dark. And it'll be fine for collage paper. So I'm going to use the deli paper that I had already done with the lighter blue, and now I'm going to pick up this Payne's gray with it. It'll make some interesting collage paper as well. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry a little bit. And then we're going to do our orange and yellow combination again. We're kind of doing the same thing we did on the last one, but we put a darker color on top, which is the bottom layer. Slightly different texture. And so of course I'm also doing my Magenta Titan Buff mixture. I'm laying down my mask again, but this time I'm going to get rid of that background differently. I'm laying down my deli paper that I had already put the 2 colored dots on. And I got a very different result because of it. And this time I'm going to pick up with Titan Buff. So I think the Titan Buff is going to give us a very, very different print than that first one. And I'm leaving this paper on the plate a little bit longer because I have like a total of 3 layers on here. I want to make sure it's all fully dry and that we get a really good print. So here we go. I think I left it a total of like 3 minutes. So I really like the way this one came out compared to that other one that had the dark background as the pull instead of the first layer. As the first layer, it just really made a great thing, but I'm not happy with that fine, defined line there. So I'm going to put something right down the middle. I'm going to mix a little bit of blue with a little bit of yellow. Add some texture. And I'm going to put in my block, and I'm twisting it a little bit. So instead of getting dots, I'm getting like this little swirl. And the green is only down the center, so it's going to cover that line that was just breaking up my paper right down the middle. So that is much better. So I'm happy with this mask. Like I said, I think it's a little big. Tell me what you think in the comment below. Should I offer it this big, or should I reduce it a little bit? I don't know. Anyway, I think I'm deciding that I want to do some negative design over that last one. So I'm putting white over this mask. Sometimes I just can't leave things alone. I don't know. And plus I'm not registered. Oh, I'm going to put it over that one, the dark one. I'm lighting it up a little bit. I'm trying to line up my corners. And I didn't leave it very long, as you could see. I picked it up very quick. And now I'm going to put the ghost on the other one. And that one I didn't line up as good. I'm really off on this one. But I love it. I especially like that left side with the magenta. And I got some of that texture in the white. I really like it. So I'm going to pick up whatever white is still left on the plate with this deli sheet. Getting lots of layers on this piece. So here's that last one and the one just before that. So sometimes you have to work on more than one at a time. You know, you sort of, and that was the original one that I did. So let's see where we go from here. Where do we want to go from here? So you can see how important it is to have paper off on the side to clean off your brayer. Alright, so we're going to go back to the stencil with magenta. That left me with a nice ghost. And I'm going to put that over the very first pickup that I did of the ghost of the blue, the Payne's gray, I mean. Let's see how this looks. Okay, so I'm going to register this one. I was trying to pick up too soon. So that magenta that's left on the plate will probably pick up now. And I love the way these colors mix with the Hansa yellow. Hansa yellow, excuse me. Anyway, we got a little bit of orange there mixed with the Hansa yellow, and trying to do a nice blend here. And I'm twisting my block again, adding some more texture. Okay, so I'm just going to take a part of this and then pick it up with the deli. But I'm trying to not have that hard edge like I had on that other one. So I'm using my block to add some texture. Every once in a while I peek underneath to see what I'm getting. All right, so now we're going over this registered paper. So I recently shot a video where I registered 2 papers, one on either side. Oh, that's interesting. And I will be posting that shortly. I think it's really going to be a good video where that really demonstrates how you can really sort of have 2 things going at once, where you're picking up the ghost and the main image on separate pieces of paper, and working, sort of tag teaming them. That was a stencil I got at Jerry's Artorama. It's a little small, but I love the organic nature of it. Just trying to make sure I don't have a hard edge like I had last time. We must learn from our mistakes. So I also left this paper to sit for a few minutes, about 2 to 3 minutes. I wanted to get a good pull. That's kind of interesting. It's going to make great collage paper, especially that left-hand side. Okay, so this time I'm just going to push the paint through the openings of the stencil. And I am creating texture in those little circles or ovals. That is green gold. It is like the most transparent paper, I think, paint that I own. It's so transparent that sometimes I'm not sure I'm even going to get a good print, but it is a beautiful color green, yellowish green. I use it a lot when I'm painting flowers. This is just one of those things I found around the house. I don't even know why I had it, but creates great texture on the plate. And I don't remember where I got it from, but I cut it. I cut that shape to get that curve. I wanted to add a little bit of the blue. Not a lot, just a touch. And now I'm pulling out some other stencils that I have, or masks. Technically they're masks. Okay, so I decide I better put down some Titan Buff first. And I'm going to pick up with the deli paper. And that turns out to be like great deli paper. I'll show you in a minute. I mean, look at that. All those layers. I just love it. So now I have to figure out what I'm going to pick this up with. And I decide to pick it up with Payne's Gray. Probably another bad decision because I'm picking up with a dark color. I don't know what I was thinking that day. Breaking all my own rules. But I do love this deli paper, and I love those textures, that grid. And I love the distressed nature of it too, and how it's outlined in a little bit of the cream, you know, the Titan Buff. Can't wait to use that. And I'm waiting for this to dry nicely. I want to make sure I'm really going to get all that paint off, all those layers. So I think I waited about 3 minutes. And even though I picked this up with a dark background, I think in this case it worked a little bit. I think you do see some of it through the yellow, and it did darken the yellow, but I think it worked. And the best part of that is I got that great deli paper. So again, I'm going to push the Payne's Gray through the openings of this stencil. It's looking really dark in my video. I don't know. I guess my colors are not as accurate as I thought. So I didn't add the texture when I still had the stencil down, but not a problem. We could still go in. And the only thing is it sort of picks up the paint from one area and then blots it onto the plate. But that might actually be good, so let's take a look and see. So this one in the middle is also another like old stencil. Not offering that one yet. I think it pairs well with these dots, and same thing with the one on the far left. I'm mixing this with a little bit of Titan Buff. This is definitely quinacridone red and not the magenta. You could tell by it's a little lighter. They're both beautiful colors. So I'm trying to keep the red to the right of that mask. I have to get myself a smaller brayer so I could really get into some smaller areas. So I want to get a little bit of green on that far left, so I'm mixing yellow and blue over there. And in the middle I just want yellow. If I had a smaller brayer, this would be easier. But it worked. And I got some paint underneath, so it's a little sloppy. Nothing's perfect with the jelly print. That's what I like about it. We got a lot of grunge. I tried cleaning it up. That was a mistake. I should have just left it the way it was. And again, I'm peeking underneath to see like what color should I pick this up with. Trying to clean it up with my fingers. I guess it looks a little bit better. So I'm having trouble deciding. You know, sometimes you just have to stop and think. I don't want to make, you know, the same mistake again. But at the same time, I want to try different colors. So I'm going to do some teal. And Titan Buff. So since that right-hand side is so solid with the magenta or red, I just want to use a Titan Buff so you can really, it won't change the color that much. But the teal is going to, I think, marry well with the other two colors. Let's see if we can blend them a little bit down the middle. So that was a bold choice, the teal. Let's see if that is a good choice. I always tell myself, it's just paint. Give things a try. That's how you learn. That's how you do better. Not bad. I think the teal was a good choice. I'm not so sure all of these colors look good together, but you know, when I cut them up in collage, we'll see what happens. See how I use it. Okay, that's one of my deli papers. It's kind of boring. Might be good with collage. This one is perfect for collage. I'm going to be using this in many collages. I could see when I cut it up, little pieces of it will work its way in. And same thing with this one. I'm very excited about that one. So this was one of the first ones that I did, or the first one. And I didn't register it perfectly, but in some ways I like it better unregistered, I think. A little bit interesting. This one came out really good. I really especially like that magenta side. This one's just okay. Just okay. And I like this one too, especially that far left side with all that texture. And this one's pretty good too. And this one is just okay, I think. Still like it though. So here's a close-up of one of my favorites. Some of the details that's on the magenta side are just, I think, fabulous. Inside those circles, I think it's just beautiful. And also I love the gradients that are going on here, so it's this one also appeals to me a lot, and the textures that are in the Payne's gray. So I had fun today. I hope you did too, and I will see you next time. So don't forget to create, inspire, and share. Take care. Bye-bye.